and you recognize the area of the body which you are using for exhalation.
Diaphragm.
Can you put your hand on that area? Make a mental note where you have put your hand. So you will find different people put their hand on different areas. Some people put their hand on the chest area, some stomach area, some pelvic area. Again, if you study medical books, they say the person can have thoracic breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, or abdominal breathing. And they will just mention, oh, he has got thoracic breathing or diaphragmatic. They will never say whether your breathing is right or wrong. But in yoga, no. We try to examine the way you are breathing, and based on the way you are breathing, then we try to say whether your breathing is right or wrong. Especially it is in relation to voluntary breathing. Because according to yoga, this area of the body from the mouth up to the heart, generally this is where you experience taking in of food and water. So for yoga, this becomes the receiving area for the consciousness. Because when you are anything which you are swallowing and getting guided by the movement of the food, you will get the knowledge of that movement of the food in this area. Knowledge of the movement of the water, drink in this area. And then when you want to eliminate past urine or past stools, you get that knowledge of elimination from the lower part of the body, so this becomes then the elimination area. So in our ordinary language we can just say receiving area, elimination area. And in both there has to be body movement for receiving and for elimination. So there are these two aspects, the movement and the knowledge of the movement. Is it clear? Without the movement we cannot swallow, the food cannot go in. So there is a swallowing movement, drinking movement. And then we get the knowledge that I am taking in or food is going in. There is then also there has to be a movement in the lower abdominal area of the bladder, of the colon, to pass urine or stools. So basically there is a body movement. And then there is the knowledge. Do you agree to these two basic things? Movement.
If you are aware. Only if you are aware of it, you can get knowledge out of it. If you are not aware of it, you cannot get knowledge out of it.
Does awareness give rise to knowledge or knowledge gives rise to awareness?
It's a good question, but I cannot answer it.
Okay, whatever it is, you can use, but I thought you got the point.
Yeah.
There is a movement,
And there is a knowledge.
there is knowledge. Everyone agrees to this? So this is exactly in yoga we get two terms, Vayu and Prana.
Right?
Vayu and Prana.
Vayu and prana.
Vayu indicates movement, Pran indicates knowledge. And when we want to increase our knowledge, extend the knowledge, then it becomes pranayama.
Are you right?
With breath, when we are working with pran, when we are working with vayu.
Okay.
This clarity should be there. Otherwise, we remain confused. And then as teachers, we cannot give clarity to our students.
Can I ask you, pranayama, is it the knowledge of yama?
Therefore, we want to understand.
No, is it the knowledge of yama, pranayama?
Not yama, it is ayam.
Okay.
Because yama is the god
Second.
of death.
Okay.
So it is not, that is what many books again say prana and yama. No, it is prana and ayam. Ayam is to extend, expand. So we want to expand our knowledge base. So today's informatics can be looked upon as a kind of pranayama. More knowledge. Knowledge explosion. Okay.
More knowledge of the self.
Of anything, but in yoga it is knowledge about the self. Otherwise we can also get more knowledge about the non-self. Possible. So now we want to, with this, first we want to correct our breathing because we are exhaling, and exhalation is elimination, giving away. In yogic language we call it apanic activity. While when we are taking in, it is called as pranic activity. So there is this basic concept of pran and apan as movement as well as knowledge. So if there is a movement which helps you to take in, it is pranvayu. If there is a movement which is helping you to give away, it is apanvayu. The knowledge that you are getting in, you are receiving, it is prana. If the knowledge is you are losing, you are deleting, it is apan. So in computer language, when you are trying to receive the mail, it will be pranvayu because a mail is coming. It is a movement of mail to come into your box. And when you are sending the mail, it will be apana because you are sending. So, receiving the mail, because it is a movement, vayu, prana vayu, apana vayu. But if you are reading the mail, it will be pranic activity. If you are deleting the mail, even the contents of that mail, it will be apan activity. So you are neither sending nor receiving. You are deleting. And you are deleting from the memory of the computer. But if it remains in the memory, it is prana. So you have to understand knowledge and movement. And then you will be able to move smoothly. How there can be 5 types of knowledges and 10 types of movements going on inside our body. But we come back to this central pathway. So we want to use the lower abdominal area, the pelvic area for exhalation. So just keep one hand on the chest, another on the pelvic. And when you are exhaling, see that you are really moving this part. And you are not bending forward, you are not moving the spine. The spine should be kept steady, stabilized. And when this contracted abdomen muscles relax, there is automatic inhalation.
and the inhalation is automatically.
Because this is relaxing. So, in yoga thing they say apana vayu is responsible for breathing, but there is active exhalation, passive inhalation. Many people find it, sometimes if this movement is disturbed, then they find it difficult to use this area for exhalation. And there then we say we have to educate them or re-educate them in their voluntary breathing. It is called Vayu Shuddhi, because we are correcting the movement for exhalation.
But this movement, it's not voluntary. I was making an effort to, when I'm
That is
talking,
voluntary, that is what I am saying. It is a voluntary movement.
so I said it's not voluntary because when I'm breathing now, or you breathing, so you don't do this. And
No.
your belly not contract in the same way, but when
Therefore,
my
the
belly,
normal breathing is under the influence of Samanavayu. Neither Pranavayu nor Apanvayu, it is more a diaphragmatic breathing, Saman. But when you are doing voluntary inhalation, your intention is to receive Pranavayu. When you are doing voluntary exhalation, your intention is to give out Apan. And that is what we are correcting. Therefore, I said it is voluntary effort, not involuntary. Would you like to be helped in your breathing? Just come here. Because many people sometimes they do experience lot of difficulty. Put your hand on my abdomen, this, and your right hand on your abdomen. Just follow me. Yes. Yes, just follow me. Can you feel your movement is changing inside? Just see, keep your mind inside, because then you will know what you are doing, how you are changing, modifying your movement. Yes, now remove your hand from that. Continue on your own. Do you feel any change inside? So this is why correction. We are inhaling the same quality of air in this hall. But the way we are inhaling, exhaling, this way of breathing has changed. So we are using this area for exhalation, not this area. Okay?
So you call it Vayu Shuddhi?
Why you should. It is a technical term.
Okay.
So therefore,
S-H-U-D-I?
S-H-U-D-D, S-U-D-D-H-I, Shuddhi.
Dr. Colin, is it possible to teach people breathe with the diaphragm, breathe with the belly when they lie on their belly? Is this possible?
Yes.
He's asking if it's possible when people are laying on their
Is it
stomach.
possible way?
Yes, but then this you cannot, because this is voluntarily we are trying to contract. It is not just the diaphragmatic breathing. We are not teaching them diaphragmatic breathing. We are teaching them how to use the abdominal muscles for breathing.
Okay.
And sometimes people do not have control on these muscles. Therefore, in the market, we have different gadgets. You put the electrodes and switch on the button, and that electrodes they work.
Yes, I know.
Yes. And it is big advertisement. Put it, put the battery in your pocket and it will continue working. Okay, now from here we want to experience an internal connection between the mouth and the pelvic area. When you do this, as if the breath is start to move from the pelvic area and comes out from the mouth. And then it goes back to the pelvic region. Is it possible? Because we are working with the central pathway and the movement of breath along the central pathway. So first we have corrected the voluntary movement. Now we want to experience that the breath is able to reach right up to the pelvic area. And from pelvic area it is coming out, not from just chest or stomach, but right from the pelvic area. Second thing for educating yourself. Is it possible to feel it, find it? Now third, is it possible for you to recognize that there is some cavity inside at the pelvic level, the pelvic cavity or pelvic space? Or is it all solid which is moving? So what is the nature of the pelvic area inside the trunk? Is it a space? Is it jelly-like, foam-like, or it is all solid?
It's moving.
Yes.
Say if it's jelly or
Even a
something
ball can also move. A solid ball also moves. So, in a way, what is the consistency of your body? Again, the text say in the beginning, people feel it, your body is solid, like a ball of clay or a piece of meat, solid. Then they start experiencing, no, there is not just a clay, it is exhibiting some life activity, breathing. If you continue, then you start feeling, oh, it is not solid, it has an internal space. And if we are able to recognize, experience the space, then comes what is the thickness of the wall. How thick is the wall? Is it a porous wall or is it impervious wall?
תסביר,
קודם בודקים את הגוף אם הוא כאילו גוש בשר או אם יש מרחבים וחללים בגוף, ואז מגלים שיש חללים ואז מנסים לבדוק את דופן.
מה עובי הדופן?
למה מנסים לבדוק?
מה עובי הדופן? אם יש איזה חלל שיש לו תנועה, אז
כן, הוא מדבר על זה.
מה יוצר את
גבולות
התנועה
החלל.
הזאת? הגבולות של החלל.
ואז הוא אומר, האם זה מחורר כמו רקמה שמעבירה, או שזו רקמה סגורה?
Are you able to follow us? Because you are sitting so isolated and look to be so withdrawn. You are able to follow us? Okay, good. Now from here, so these are the few points just in this simple technique of a voluntary exhalation followed by inhalation. For the movement area that is moved. Second, the connection between the pelvic area and the mouth. Third, the internal space. Now fourth, we want to experience that it is this space which is getting emptied and filled. It is not just exhalation and inhalation. what you would like to now experience is, it is this space which is getting emptied, and it is this space which is getting filled.
Getting full.
So technically it is called then Rechaka Puraka. Rechaka, emptying of the space. Puraka, filling of the space. So in order to experience these terms, yogic terms, Purak, Rechak, we have to, or Rechak Purak, we have to experience this space. If you are not able to experience this space, then you cannot say you are practicing Rechak Purak. Better to say you are practicing exhalation, inhalation. That is how I started, exhalation, inhalation. And now I am asking you, are you able to experience this space? If you have started to experience this space, now we can say, please experience emptying and filling of this space. Yes, please.
The air only gets the lungs.
Yes.
It doesn't get you.
No. Therefore, we are using a technical word, the breath.
The breath.
Breath. And this is the yogic understanding of the word breath is different from the medical understanding of the word breath.
Okay, so when you talk about full or empty here, it's not air, it's prana.
It is visceral sensations.
Sensation.
And we are learning to work now with the visceral sensations, with the internal organs.
So the idea of empty and full is just imagination.
It is not imagination.
It's not imagination?
Do you think when you feel bladder tension and then you feel the need to use the bathroom or restroom, is it imagination?
No, but there is
There is a real knowledge coming from inside the body.
Yeah, but here when I breathe in,
So there are volume receptors, and we are trying to stimulate these volume receptors. And they are already there in the bladder, in the uterus, in the colon. Only we are getting knowledge from these receptors when the bladder is full of urine or colon is full of stools. But when they are empty, they could still be stimulated and give us this knowledge. Therefore I said, the body movement of the air, and then the movement of the energy. And this is what we call it pranayam, not swasayam. We are not directly working with swasa, but the sensations or the knowledge that starts from the breath through the touch modality. But it is internal touch, not external touch. Because the concept of breath in medical language is the volume of air that is going in and coming out. And this volume you can measure with a suitable apparatus. We say 500 milliliters or 400. In yoga, that is not the concept of the breath. It is this awareness arising through the touch of air, the contact of the air, movement inside the body during breathing. And that you can get guided by that in different parts of the body. Therefore we say it is the breath which is moving. You are a medical person? Because Because there is always this conflict comes. If you are having some medical knowledge and then you try to understand yogic terms in your medical language.
No, it's just because you said empty and full. That's what.
Therefore, I first talked about the space. The space getting filled. I didn't say with what. Or this practice which is more for our purpose here. So we, after establishing this connection between the pelvic area and the mouth, we want to extend this central pathway now up to the nasal openings. So we again assume a sitting position, start the same way, become aware of this connection between pelvis and mouth, and now close the mouth, continue breathing in and out through the nose. And become aware of that pathway and the breath escaping, going out and coming in through the nose. Another exit point. Mouth was one exit point. Now nose is another exit point. And you feel that touch of air movement in the nasal area, not in the mouth area. Now we want to extend that central pathway from the nasal area up to the forehead. So now we remain aware of the forehead area in between the eyebrows, what we call the position of the third eye or the Brahmadhya. And then we want to experience our breath escaping and entering through the forehead. That becomes the exit point for that central pathway. So we remain aware of this internal connection, central pathway, right from the pelvic level up to the forehead, and the breath escaping and entering through the forehead, and the pelvic cavity getting emptied and filled because of this movement of the breath. Possible? Are you able to feel that movement of breath through its internal touch? But that is the confirmation. We don't have external object to instrument to know where you are experiencing the touch of air or the movement of breath. You have to keep your mind or your consciousness there to get this knowledge or this information. And now lastly we want to extend that pathway from the forehead right up to the top of the head. So again we maintain that pathway and see that the breath is escaping from the top of the head and entering through the top of the head. So this breath will be making a subtle sound and you will be able to perceive that sound in the top of your head, not in the area of the glottis, not in the area of the mouth, not in the area of the nasal opening, not in the area of the forehead, but top of the head. And you may again have that forceful exhalation followed by inhalation, or it is actually expulsion followed by suction. So that is what traditional texts say, that we suck the outside air or vayu, wind, and we expel the wind from the internal cavities. Bahista vayu achamanam and koshtasya vayu nissaranam. So achaman, this is a technical word. Generally in Indian different religious practices, we take some water in our palm and then that water is snipped, it is sucked in, because water doesn't go inside on its own. We have to take the water in. Same way, the food will not go in, we have to swallow. In the same way, the breath will not go on its own inside. We have to take it in, we have to suck. Like that, we then suck the breath. So, bahistavayu achamanam, sucking the outside air. Koshtasya vayu nissaranam, we
Expel.
push out or expel. So, we are trying to experience that expulsion and suction from the top of the head. Possible for everyone? You have practiced Brahmari? You have not practiced Brahmari any time.
Not usually.
Suction.
Can you do a nasalized sound keeping the mouth closed? No. Where you are able to feel this sound inside your body. So now can you allow it to go to the top of the head center?
You feel it? All over.
No, then you have to put the pathway. So put your fingers inside, remain aware of the fingertips and allow the sound to operate through the center of the two fingertips, the central pathway.